welcome to the third episode of Back of the Net's away day review series for the 25-26 season. This series on YouTube is all about how good or bad an away day is. Now, unlike a lot of fan channels these days who sit at home on StreamYard, we actually go to games because life's too short to not see the Cherries win away. In this case, we didn't win, we actually drew. So you can tell it's Leeds United and Elland Road. This one could be tasty, and they are the subject of this week's show. And look, you may be a Leeds fan and you may be like, the cheek of this guy rating Elland Road when they're at Vitality Stadium. My garden shed's bigger than this, 11,000 seats. What? Yeah, we know, but look, it's an away day show. We can't rate our own ground. So look, Back of the Net, it's all about giving you an authentic experience of what it's like on an away day. We take people on a raw journey of what it's like inside the ground, the pubs we go to. We chat to some of the locals as well, and we just gauge what they're like. So in this series, we rate 7 factors, which are the city, pubs, the people, stadium, the view, the noise, and the concourse. We score each of them out of 10. So we talk about pretty much everything apart from the game itself. Why? Because let's face it, a loss is always crapper than a win, regardless of where you're going. So we take the bias out and we leave it at the door, and we try to answer as accurately as possible, not using our heart too much. Alright, so we're going to take the emotion out of it. Hard hats on. Let's get into this. Right, first, the city. This sounds a bit Alan Partridge, but can I just shock you? I like Leeds. The annoying thing about Leeds, though, is in terms of Elland Road, the stadium, it's not really walkable from the city centre. It's about an hour walk. Well, that's according to Google Maps. Let's face it, that's about 50 for the rest of us. But you've got to walk, what is it, southwest towards Beeston and Holbeck. Like, it is a bit of a stretch, which is a bit annoying. The city, though, well, firstly, it's a bloody good night out. There's a lot going on with, like, good theatres, museums, galleries, of course, music festivals, Reading and Leeds and all that. And you've got a strong food scene as well. I think we said that on the vlog as well. Loads of independent cafes and restaurants. And for shopping, there's places like Trinity Leeds and other places as well. Lots of independent markets, which is quite nice. Lots of parks, lots of open space. And obviously, being in Yorkshire, I don't know what accent that was, great access to the countryside as well. So if you like the outdoors, lots of walks, nature and stuff, Leeds is obviously well placed. So in terms of the size of the city, it's pretty good. There's plenty to do, but it's not too big. Transport links are alright. You've got a bus service, which is okay. Like I say, good venues if you like music. There are obviously some rough patches. There are even rough patches in Bournemouth. You've probably seen those kind of videos on YouTube about all the... Anyway, I'm not going to get into it, but it's like everywhere. But culturally, I think it's ahead of other places. In terms of sport, you've got top-level rugby, you've got international cricket at Headingley, and now you've got Premier League football this season. I think next season as well. Beeston itself is a bit of a mixed bag. Some parts are better than others. It's a challenging area, but I think there are regeneration projects that are in the pipeline. Obviously, an expanded Elland Road would help that and be the catalyst to more redevelopment around the area. It's worn, but it's got charm. For me, I don't mind Leeds, but this is tough. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Could be... No, I'm sticking with 6. Next, the pubs. Now, this is difficult because there wasn't a dedicated away pub. Usually, we get sent to a particular pub. There wasn't one. Well, there was the fan zone. We'll come on to that monstrosity. We went to the Old White Hart. I know that there are a couple of pubs opposite the station, which are fine, but remember, it is like an hour away, so we've got to talk about the facilities in and around Elland Road. There are some brilliant pubs in Leeds, don't get me wrong, but these are the football pubs. The Old White Hart is actually pretty decent, right? Not sure if we were allowed in there. We went on a couple of websites that suggested that we'd be okay, but we zipped up our tops, and to be fair, we're a good bunch, so even if we weren't, I don't know if we'd be welcome or not. Either way, that's by the by. In terms of the organisation around the pub, quality. quality, a queuing system, right? Pints were always being poured like 50% or whatever. So if you're having a Estrella or whatever, they're just topping it up. You know, Guinnesses were almost pre-done, made it so much easier. Match day food, big beer garden, showing the football as well. For me, this was a good match day pub, and whisper it, the Leeds fans were all right as well. Probably a 9. However, there's also a fan zone we've got to talk about. Just keep in your mind that 9, right? Because we'll have to take the average of 2 scores. The fan zone, pretty bloody bad. It was basically a car park with metal fences and a pop-up container where they were pouring the drinks. And it's just by the West End ticket office. It's pretty cramped. It's pretty bad. The massive bins, they were a lovely touch. Service was pretty slow though. I didn't enjoy it, and nor did many Cherries fans. Even on the square ball, they've taken the piss out of it as well. And also, when you mention the words fan zone, you expect there's going to be a TV of some kind. There wasn't. There was a big sign on the wall for Flamingo Land, which is great to look at, but the fan zone was a 3. So if we're going to take the average, it's going to be 6, of course. So, yeah, not great. One of the things I find about Leeds is that there's 2 types of Leeds fan, right? The one you see online and the ones you see in person. Now, Bournemouth fans, you probably know, they've got their own issues with Leeds for the events of 1990. What I found interesting was when there was some back and forth with the fans during the game. We were singing one thing and then they came back with, you know, we smashed up your town. When you look closely, there are lads that still haven't seen their mock GCSEs in front of them on the desk yet. So I admire their attempts to be edgy. It just didn't work. There's a fair bit of bravado online with Leeds fans about being massive and stuff. Maybe you are, but maybe you also shouldn't forget where you've been for the majority of the seasons over, say, the last 25 years, this century. But that is all a bit of swagger, I think. I think a lot of outsiders, they perceive Leeds fans as being arrogant because they believe they deserve more success. Plus, there's also the sense with Leeds fans themselves that they've been unfairly treated over the years, especially with like points deductions, financial trouble periods and stuff. So I do get that. So there's a grittiness and a rawness about them. But what I would say is, though, the people that were down the pub, the people that we chat to en route to the ground, the people that were even listening to our walk and talk when me and Tom were walking up Beeston back to the car after our game for our post-match reaction show, they were all bloody sound. There was nothing wrong with them. And actually very, very down-to-earth people. I admire the grit, I admire the boldness, and I also sense that there's almost a pride in being hated. Maybe that's just part of the mask that they'd like to wear. I don't know. But really, they're all teddy bears, aren't they? I'm scoring Leeds fans a 6. Next then, the stadium. Now, I struggle with this because, firstly, I'm looking forward to the expansion of Elland Road. It needs it. But, I mean, it's proper old school, isn't it? I love the, like, not the actual building itself, but around it. I love the statue. I love the touches such as the names on the bricks and stuff. It's a classic old football stadium, which obviously has a lot of heritage. What's with the bagpiper, by the way? What is that? Was he there like every match? That I don't. Tell me, Leeds fans. I want to know. Obviously, it's not a pristine modern arena. I'm sure parts of it will be with your hospitality spaces and stuff, but many of its quirks are actually its charm as well. It's been Leeds' home since, 1919? The layout's obviously changed over the years. Currently, its capacity is just under 38,000, I think. Some stands are obviously older than others and show a lot of wear. Legroom can be tight. The fan zone was crap. But I don't know, once you're in, it's the character that sort of makes it. I'm glad that they're expanding rather than rebuilding, as hopefully you can maintain some kind of character parts of the ground. But the South Stand is obviously great for noise. We'll come on to that a little bit more. Just the design of it, it reads as a tough place to go, and it's clearly loved by everyone who goes there. For me, it's a 7 out of 10. Not bad. The view then. And what I would say is that the view this time is a lot better than it was the last time, where we could see the back of a scoreboard and it was just just a rank place to be. It was horrible. And we were in one of the stands at the back and the rows at the back, which meant there's this kind of netting that I asked Steve Hedsman, why is there netting there? And it's to keep the birds from flying up there and nesting up there, which I understand. But for some of us, slightly taller people, it was draping on our heads. But from where we were this time, we had an okay view of the pitch. Apart from that is a pillar being right in the way. When Antoine Semenyo's taking a free kick right behind the pillar, that's a bit annoying. We actually got a £2 refund per ticket for the seats that we were in because of that pillar. So that's nice of Leeds United. But overall, apart from that pillar, the view was fine. I mean, you got Leeds fans in front of you, Leeds fans to your left, and also Leeds fans in the south stand to the right of you, I suppose. So it feels quite intimidating being in there. But I got to appreciate that's part of the footballing culture that I never ever want to see diluted. I think we only, by the way, had Leeds fans in front of us. I think because we didn't sell all our tickets. If we had, I'm guessing we might have had that block, or we'd have had more room to the left. Let me know. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. But being in the corner, I do quite like it because it gives you a fairly decent angle to see the play develop, and you can see both ends fairly comfortably. You can feel quite close to the action, but if you're further back, especially if you're trying to take a photo or vlog the game, there's this kind of letterboxing that occurs because you've got like the dark rows in front of you, you've got the dark roof, and then all you can see is white because of the overexposure. Not that everyone vlogs at the football, don't ever do that because it's a terrible culture that I don't ever want many people to get into. But it is cramped. It does feel like spit and sawdust. It's a 4 out of 10. Look, it's not all negative, Leeds fans. It ain't. It ain't. Leeds is good for noise. It's loud. It's intimidating. It's brash. It's bold. There are limbs. There were limbs when they had a penalty last time after about 3 minutes. It's edgy. I don't know what it's like about Leeds fans that make them so different, but they just are. They were definitely louder when they scored, as they would be, but they properly gave it some. And I know that our team will have just conceded, but I want that as an away fan experience, if that makes any sense. When we go to other... I mean, I'll come on and I'll criticise the individual teams when we play them. I won't say it on this video, but some, maybe even away fans, say it about us. When we score, it's very much like stand up and clap or whatever. But I want to see limbs, and I want to see a bit of needle between the home and away fans. I want to feel uncomfortable. That's what it should be all about. Their fans were mocking us and stuff, and you'd think I'd be scoring it low because of that. I'm not. I'm scoring it higher. The noise they made was terrific. Thankfully, no predictor. I predict a riot after the game, but the energy that they created in that stadium is something else. And whilst in parts I don't think they were as good as what they were in the 4-3, I still have to rate them high. So for me, they are some of the best that I've heard this season. 9 out of 10. Right, concourse then. Does it remind anyone else of Newcastle away? Obviously not as high as Newcastle, but you've got the kind of internal room, you've got the views over the car park. The toilets were horrible, the service wasn't overly good, but what I did like, the fact that I don't think we could do this previous time, there were areas outside, so if you wanted a fag or a vape, you could go out, you could take your drink, or you could go out another exit. If you just want a drink, you could go into the main car park bit. It was actually okay. So you know what, I did ask some people on our Telegram group what they think about this, and I might have to get a consensus from them. Concourse, someone said 1, James said 1, the concourse 4. Jeez, I was going to do it 6.5. Bloody hell, Thomas. Alright, I'm going to put it as 4. I was going to do it. Okay, I'm doing a 4, and this is not me saying this. 4 out of 10. This is from people on our monthly supporters group, by the way, so blame them, not me. Right, so I've actually lost where I'm at, so I'm going to have to retell this again. So you got 6 for that, 6 for that, elsewhere, what, another 6 as well? All of the 6s, that's the people. Stadium was a 7, the view, yeah, that was bad. 4, the noise, 9, okay, and the concourse, 4. That scores Leeds United 42 points. Where does it place you on our league table? Here it is now. Yeah, not so good. Liverpool 55, Spurs 48. And then Leeds. I mean, you're in a Champions League spot. That's okay, isn't it? But what I would say about this, right, is there are going to be a lot more scores below 45. I'm telling you now, I know that for a fact. We may even have one on our next away day one. I won't tell you who it is, but you can look at our fixtures if you're that interested. I don't think that will score as high. Are we being unfair, Leeds fans? Are we being unfair? And also, if there are things that we could have done better on the away day, again, let me know as well, because I'm always really intrigued to hear what fans have got to say. I'm sorry if you're offended, but you know what? If you're offended, just be offended, all right? That's it. Bottom of the league so far. If you want to like and subscribe, you can, but there are going to be some good times ahead for Leeds United this season. I think you'll be all right, by the way. I do think you'll be all right, and I think you'll be all right in this series as well. I don't think you'll come bottom, put it that way. I don't think so. Up the Cherries. See you in the next one, and thanks for watching. Leeds fans, subscribe.